Have you ever heard of somebody who abducts little boys?
Room below's got some horrible smells.
We don't want to go in there.
What are you doing?
Complimentary room service. Here is that.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Dads.
We are.
And we're looking a little different. So that's why I was looking at Joel with like a surprised look on my face. Hey.
Shaggy is surprised as well.
Because this is our 100th episode. Yay. And so we decided to change the set and make it a little bit different. And we got a cool new lamp and we wanted to highlight it. So we moved things around. And now you can see the shelf behind us.
One of.
That Joel is always referencing. That's like half of it.
That's one of the
It goes
shelves.
all the way to the ceiling.
There's another one there and another one there. And also, the intro and outro are different as well.
Yeah. So if this is your first time watching, this won't be weird to you. But if this is your 100th time watching, then you're going to be like, what is going on? I mean, maybe not.
That's what I was saying.
But yes, so we are the Newly Dads. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is a half-hour chat show where we talk about a movie that we've watched. This week, we actually did a special screening of the movie at Wolf Hollow. So we had a very small crowd of people, and I just wanted to give a thank you to them. Liz and Randy of Wolf Hollow, they are the Wolves. They own Wolf Hollow, which is here in Rockford, Illinois. Mike, he did all of the tech stuff for it. And then we had two people that came to view it with us also. So that was Jim and Shay. They signed up. That was their first time coming to Wolf Hollow. So hopefully they had a great time. And it was Jim's birthday. So happy birthday, Jim. And he ended up winning the door prize because
he showed up.
He was the one that showed up.
We unfortunately segued into the same time frame as the Super Bowl. And
yeah, it was the same day as the Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm sure it made things a little funky. We're not sportsy people, so it didn't even go on our radar, but there's a lot of people we know that are sportsy. So
it was still fun. It was on the big screen.
Yeah. Okay, so we're the Newly Dads. I know, yay. My name is Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're like I said, we're the Newly Dads.
Yeah.
I usually start our show like that. We actually have a half-hour chat show that's on several different networks. And they all, we also show it on YouTube. So,
on YouTube,
yeah. Every Wednesday night, our show usually airs at 6:30 on YouTube. Yeah. We've done 100 episodes, and so this is our 100th episode, actually. So that's why Liz and Randy very graciously allowed us to come here and watch the movie and use the space today. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it.
Thank you to Mike.
And thank you to Mike for, all of your AV skills.
But it started in 2022 on YouTube. We had 8 episodes on there when we got asked to pick it up to be on their streaming network through Roku. They have since transitioned a couple times, and now they're on Strim, which is another streaming network. The other 3 networks are streaming, but I couldn't tell you where exactly. But they all have websites, and if you go to our Facebook page, you can find the links there to those. But then after that, so this is technically our 2-year anniversary of being on a streaming network and our 100th episode of that. So technically there's 108. And I'm slowly uploading all the old episodes to our YouTube channel, so the people that missed them when they were streaming the first run can now see them as we've grown, and things are about to change. With this episode, things are about to get a lot bigger. So
yeah. So do you want me to talk how I normally talk on our episode?
The breakdown of what the show is.
So yes. So this is a half-hour chat show. So usually we watch a movie and then we talk about it, and we've got some criteria for the movie. So our criteria for these movies that we watch are, it needs to be under $5.
Yep.
Typically, we find them at the dollar store, like the Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar, whatever.
Goodwill, Salvation
Goodwill.
Army.
We've gotten them at Beach Boy Toys here in Rockford.
We've
So
had filmmakers send us stuff to review.
Yep. And then, so that's number one. It needs to be under $5. It needs to be a horror, sci-fi, or thriller genre type movie.
Yep.
So what we're watching today definitely falls underneath the like sci-fi, I guess. Slash horror. I don't know. It's not really horror. And then it needs to be a movie that neither of us have
We've
ever
never seen before, which
yeah,
we're digging through the bins to find those because we watch a lot of movies.
yes.
But
So we record the show usually out of our house, and so you'll see things like our dogs pop up and stuff, and he does a lot of fun editing. So yeah, we definitely encourage you guys to follow us on YouTube and watch us there if you want to.
we also are.
This
The
was
first
our
episode,
yeah. That's
yeah.
why we're dressed up a little fancier. Yeah,
We're also artists. We do pop-up markets with Liz and Randy here at
Yep.
Follow.
we've done the
Um,
Witches Market. We've done the Summerween.
We have a
Halloween.
podcast.
Yes.
We write movie review blogs, caffeinated coffee reviews, small business reviews. We also do unboxing videos, sinister snack videos, follow us around videos. We do a lot. It
It's
keeps
all
us
fun.
busy.
It's
Yeah.
our jobby.
Keeps us busy. Off the streets.
It's a hobby that's a job.
But the part where we actually review the film, we'll be doing separately, and that'll all be uploaded in 2 weeks. So our 98th episode is airing this week. Our 99th will be airing next week, and then this episode will air
Yep.
the week after that. So I
Yeah,
guess-
we usually film it and then edit it.
Right.
So we're not actually filming what we usually do in this show today. What we're filming is just this little introduction. You are welcome to give comments afterwards if you want to. You don't have to be on camera, though. It's not a
Not a
requirement.
And there is a prize, which, there's not a lot of here, so your chances of winning are pretty high.
Yeah.
Also, we take notes because, we have to review it. So feel free to.
To talk, if
No,
you're
okay.
like want to say some comments to the screen, like go
Please
right
feel free.
ahead. Just
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah.
And we'll be taking notes. So,
But don't do
and
that.
talking to each
Only
other.
she can do that because this is her carpet.
It's her sword.
Yeah.
Chuck it. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
other than that, I think that's about it.
Yeah.
for
So
us.
thank you very much for coming.
Yeah.
We know it's a Super Bowl Sunday too,
So,
so I think a lot of
that
people
had
went
signed
to
up were like,
Super
oh,
Bowl
wait.
Sunday stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. We're
We're
not
not.
sports bally people either. Yeah. Right. Some pigs
I mean,
in
I'm
a
from
blanket.
Kansas City, and I'm like, go Chiefs, but
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so
Right.
we're gonna watch the movie, and like he said, we are gonna be taking notes. So he's got like a little tablet thing he's gonna be doing back there. I think you keep some of the ambient lighting on, right? Like the pictures and stuff will have like the lighting and stuff still. Yeah.
we'll have to see
Yeah.
how it shows. But
So yeah, if you need anything, Liz is the shop owner, and so is Randy. So I'm sure they can help you. Yep.
all right. Thank you
Awesome.
for coming.
Yeah. Thanks. But again, if this is your first time watching, I do want to get into the criteria so that way you understand exactly what we're doing here. So, like I said, we do watch a movie, and this movie usually has some criteria for it. Not usually, always does.
Always.
So it needs to be, first of all, under $5. It needs to be a horror, thriller, or sci-fi genre type film. And it needs to be a movie that neither of us have ever seen. So that is the main gist of what we do. I also wanted to mention that this is also a podcast. So we do turn the audio portion of this visual show into a podcast. So if you're listening to us, thank you very much for that. We do, again, record this in our house. So you'll see dogs, and Joel always, Mr. Newly Dead over here, always puts funny things in the trailers, and he puts little funny things on the screen when we're talking. And, sometimes, Shaggy might give a high five, and you'll see a little like high five thing go on, or Bailey or whatever. So we highly recommend that you watch us, and you can find us at thenewlydeads.com for all of your Newly Deads needs. So besides this show, we also do a YouTube channel where we do unboxings, or he does unboxings. I've done one or two, I think, in the past. he does unboxings with different movies, different boutique label movies. Boutique.
Boutique is good, yeah.
And we sometimes do follow me around videos. Occasionally we'll do a caffeinated, which is like a coffee review. And we both of us write blog posts. It's been a hot minute since I've done it, but he is very consistent and does it on the regular, at least weekly, right?
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, he's got a blog post coming out about a different movie that he's watched. So definitely check that out. And again, you can find that. I said watch that. You can find that on
you can watch it if you want.
on thenewlydeads.com. So that's enough with the housekeeping, I think. Joel is probably going to put some of the footage somewhere in here. We did record a little bit while we were doing the movie. So we did just like, not really a Q&A, but I mean, kind of was. Like people were asking, a couple people asked a couple questions about what we do. We did like a little intro to the movie kind of thing. And they made popcorn for us, which was lovely. But yeah, we watched Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus this week. Oh yeah, that's right. Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. And it's also a sci-fi original. So you know how much we love those sci-fi channel original movies. I'm going to read the synopsis and then I think we'll get on to the trailer if you're okay with that. Yeah,
yes,
it's a short synopsis.
Oh.
So Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus. The California coast is terrorized by two enormous prehistoric creatures as they battle each other for supremacy of the sea. And it was rated R. I guess that makes sense.
There was nudity and language.
Was there nudity? There wasn't nudity. I don't remember nudity, but I do remember some language and some inappropriate. I don't remember a couple of
Lorenzo Lamas and
I mean, yeah, she didn't show her boobs. No,
he was a jerk.
Oh, he was a jerk. Yeah. Debbie Gibson. Is that what you're trying to get me to say?
No.
Oh. He was looking at me.
The joke just went flat.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I know.
Moving on.
I don't know what he's trying to get at. Anyways.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day and I'm drooling. Yeah, so we're going to pause it. And then he's going to show the trailer.
What about the trailer?
I don't know. This is different. Can the trailer be like can it just be a giant octopus on your side and then like a mega shark on my side and they're like battling for their lives and on top of us?
I don't know how that's going to work, but
he'll make it work.
Figure something out, I guess.
Yeah. You'll figure something out. All right. Well, he's going to, do that. We'll show the trailer and we'll be right back.
10 million years ago, they were frozen in combat.
Appears that this flesh didn't come from anything mechanical. This moon's organic.
You name one thing in that ocean that comes down like that.
There's something big out there.
Now they're loose.
Gorilla in Manila. We'll get them to kill each other.
It rises. Looked into its eyes. What did it look like? Still closing!
Lorenzo Lamas, Deborah Gibson.
We're dealing with a menace.
Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
Holy!
We're back. And Joel's probably got some notes.
I do. Every time we watch a film, I take notes to give us a little bit of a guideline as far as, how the conversation goes. And this year, Mrs. Newlydad made a deal with herself that she was going to make notes
Deal with the devil.
all year.
I did.
So far, you've done it.
I have.
When I do that, I also draw pictures.
I was thinking like this thing, they might be, because we're a little closer, so they might be able to actually see our stuff.
As long as it doesn't see our face, I think. You got to hide your face.
Yep.
So this is the part where Mrs. Newlydad describes what she sees.
It looks like a scully octopus. A thing that says Sharkzilla, Gary Laser Eyes. An actual, what is that, a whark? What does that say? Does that say shark or whark?
It says shark, but it's just a weird looking shark, so I just wrote it.
Oh, the S looks like a W for some
kinda,
reason. Reanimators, a needle. That's a really good needle, like syringe looking thing you guys got, or you guys.
You
that
guys?
you guys
That I
going
got.
on there.
That's it.
And then
Yeah, well, that has to do with the that has to do with some of the notes. What'd you
and
draw?
then I drew. Oh, I didn't even rate it.
Oops.
Funny. I drew Debbie Gibson doing this.
You kept making fun of her for making.
And there's a
face.
shark behind her. You see that?
Oh yeah, I see that now. And
I got another shark that says, "I'm mega. Bye bye Golden Gate Bridge, Chompy. We are beasts." And then this little guy was
He's
my
so
favorite.
cute. Little
I
octopus.
says, "I'm
Whoops.
giant. I'm slappy and vicious."
he was Slappy in the film.
Oh, and I
Slappy.
drew Shaggy.
And then Shaggy, she drew you.
He wasn't even there.
You weren't even there, and she drew you by memory. That's how good she remembers your face.
I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna draw 2 circles and some eyeballs, and some triangles."
She drew you.
I'm not very good at drawing dogs. I do like my little octopus, though. Can they see it?
I'm hiding my face.
I don't know.
She's teaching herself how to draw all this stuff
Better. Draw better.
Draw better. So for our 100th episode, as she said, we watched Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus from 2009, currently sitting at 2.5 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database. All right. So this was directed by Jack Perez and written by Jack Perez, who is known for Wild Things 2, as if we needed a sequel.
Oh, geez.
Some Guy Who Kills People, which is a fun little movie with Kevin Corrigan, which you've not seen it. I enjoyed it. And 666 The Child. Those are the ones that he is known for directing.
Great.
Now, as far as writing is concerned, Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark was another one in the series.
Great.
America's Deadliest Home Videos, which is on the shelf, that stars Danny Bonaducci in a shot-on-video horror film. If you can believe it, it exists, and I own it. Purchased from TerraVision. We love you, TerraVision. That's all I put down here, but he's got quite the resume. So if you want to look for other fun films to check out, go look at Jack Perez. So as she mentioned, this stars Deborah Gibson, aka Debbie Gibson. If you are a person of a certain age, you may remember her as a teen starlet from the 80s, along with Tiffany and Tiffany Darwish. And they battled for the pop charts with their songs.
Tiffany's last name?
I do.
I liked Tiffany back in the day.
She was on the mall tour.
She was on the mall tour.
Yep, Tiffany Darwish. So Debbie Gibson is known for such films as Ghostbusters. I don't know as to what part she was in Ghostbusters, but it had it on her.
Really?
Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark. So she's back.
Oh, nice.
So that means we have to watch it. And she was in Mega Python versus Gatoroid.
Gatoroid? What's a Gatoroid?
I don't know.
Like an android gator?
Maybe. Like Robocroc? There's a Gatoroid? Oh, that would make sense. We need to watch that movie. We watched Robocroc, and that one with
Mega Python.
Or Mimic was pretty rough. But what? Yeah, Mega Python.
I'm wondering if they had to like create a robot alligator that's big enough to kill the Mega Python.
Probably
Something like that. That sounds.
But this isn't
legit.
That they could control, because they learned from the first time from this movie that 2 giant beasts fighting each other, you can't control them.
No,
they
had to use
destroy.
Bait.
That you had to use bait.
I wrote down a funny thing that one of the people at the thing said. Did you
We'll
write it down too?
No.
Yeah.
This also stars Lorenzo Lamas in a very butthole role. Boy, he was a butthole.
He was a big butthole.
He was in Movie Madness, Sharknado 3, which is sitting right behind my wife there on the shelf.
Him some Sharknado.
Grease, original Grease, and Snake Eater.
He was in the original Grease. Oh, is he a little kid in it?
I mean, he's younger. He's like John Travolta age.
Well, so, but was he a little kid in it? Mm,
Lorenzo Lamas is
Yeah.
in his 50s.
right.
So, he might have been
Well,
pretty young at that
That's
point.
what I'm saying. Was he a little
But-
kid in it?
I don't remember. I just saw it on his
If he's in his
resume.
50s, he had to have been a little kid.
I mean, I assume he's in his 50s. He might be in his 60s. I don't know. Time is a construct of man. Anyway, I don't know where that was going. Incidentally, I did not recommend Sharknado as my instead of watching this because I've already recommended it on the previous show.
Sad.
So also, Jack Perez was in the film as an actor. I saved him for last because he was in Running Time, which if you've not seen that film, Bruce Campbell, check it out. Missing in Action, the original one. Why did I suddenly forget his name? Chuck Norris. Whew, Chuck Norris trilogy. And that's all his credits. He has three credits. All right. So at this point, I turned to my wife and she said,
What did you think?
and now is when we get into the real deal. And I'm very twitchy. So this is 100th episode. Small crowd of people came and joined us, but we got to watch it thanks to Mike on a very large screen. I don't know how big that thing is. Probably 100 inches, I'm guessing.
At least. It's like, it's a big, movie theater
like
style,
one of those that
kinda.
you put together, and then it's got pipes, and then it is a big screen. So it's basically like watching it in a
Pretty
movie theater.
big. Yeah. It is like watching it in a movie theater. And he's got a nice sound system thing that's hooked up to it and a projector. And
in the space we were located, it felt like it was bigger than it was. Because you're not in this giant room, you're in this little space.
Yeah.
So
it's really quaint. I like it.
Yeah.
I wish we could watch all of our movies that way.
Someday.
Yeah.
And the night before that, we actually watched Bram Stoker's Dracula there at the exact same thing.
And that was packed. That was a packed house.
And we watched that on the big screen, which we've both seen it already on the big screen. But it was nice to see it again with a group of people. And our friend Liz was behind us quoting the entire film.
Yeah, she loves that movie.
So this film has an epic beginning. I felt like good music. I thought that that was pretty well done. There was a lot of like very scenic shots that they had taken from other things and stole for this.
Yes.
Stock footage.
I felt like that was too much stock footage going on. Like, cut out the stock footage. I don't need to see the same seagull 8 million times. Like weird cuts,
But it established something that they couldn't maintain, unfortunately. So they probably should have cut some of the stock footage because once they established that, you're like, oh, it's going to be just a sprawling epic, and then it's like,
yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I did not like that. I liked watching it with my friends, though. That was one of the things I liked.
It was fun to get a reaction.
We encouraged the audience to talk during the movie too, so it was funny. So people were saying funny things during it.
Because while we were taking notes and talking with each other, everybody else was still talking, and we were interacting with them too. Which one of the main things is that Laura kept discussing how Debbie Gibson made funny faces or weird faces.
She's always like this.
Just how she holds her mouth, I guess.
She's like going in a submarine. She's like, "What down bubble 1 or whatever," and she's just like.
Which, incidentally, the buttons, I don't know if you noticed, but there was no lights on the buttons. So it's like the sub wasn't even on. So I don't know if she was just cruising and they were she didn't actually know how to pilot the sub, and they were somebody else was controlling it for her, and they were just making her feel like she was driving. But then there were other buttons that were lit that she actually hit.
Yeah.
But I like Debbie Gibson. She was, like as a kid, she was like a childhood crush. You're like, oh, it's Debbie Gibson.
Oh, that's
so
why you
cute.
kept getting mad because I was making fun of her.
Her and Tiffany both, but that's when you were a kid my age back then, that's what you did. Then there was a scene where I said that apparently urinating on coworkers is a custom. I don't remember why people were peeing on each other. You remember?
No.
This was last weekend. So it's been a few days now.
It's been 3 days.
Sunday, yeah. So 3 days, 4 days.
Yeah. I said long Irish science to figure out that it's a tooth.
I wrote that there was an Irish science, yeah,
because somebody said it was like Irish. So you said it was Irish science or something, didn't you? Or somebody did.
I said, what's with all the jump cuts? And I said, also, there's Irish science because there was a guy that was Irish that said, that
was helping them.
you got to be like do it the Irish way or something like that. And
Yeah.
we're like, why is there
Irish science.
What's the difference between American or?
And she was like, hey,
other?
buddy, let's go get a drink. And so you're expecting them to go to a bar, and then they're just standing on the beach drinking liquor out of brown bags. I was like, what is
I'm gonna
happening?
insert a picture of that right here.
Brown
because
bag drinks on the beach.
It looked like they were slamming Zimas or wine coolers. I'm not
Yeah,
sure which.
I don't know. Just brown bagging it on the beach.
So, just real quick with the storyline. So she's piloting the sub. Some things happen, and then all of a sudden, a frozen shark and a frozen octopus. Well, to be more precise, a frozen megalodon and an octopus are suddenly freed from their ice prison
because of the sonar thing. Did you say
that?
What
it was?
Yeah, there was like some illegal sonar thing that was
right.
going on. She's like, "What is that?" Okay, what are the odds, first of all, that she's like off the coast of California? So she's not even like anywhere near the Arctic. Right? She's in a little tiny mini sub, and she's looking for this pod of whales.
Yep.
And she sees another thing that's like an illegal low frequency sonar thing that completely obliterates all this ice that this giant octopus and this giant shark are in.
That have been trapped in this for, I don't know.
They said millions of years.
Since the
hundreds of thousands and millions of years.
The Ice Age, I guess, probably.
Yes.
And it just suddenly happened to be that they were right there, and it
with each other, and it cracked like this. And then she's like, what is that? She's like going by it, and she's like, And then she like gets back on shore, and she's like, and then he goes, what was that back there? The guy that was in the sub with her the entire time, they didn't talk about it. And then she's on the beach, and there's this giant whale that got beached, and she's like, he goes, what was that back there? She's like, you saw it too? I'm like, why wouldn't you have discussed it when you were in the sub?
And how did you not see it?
And how did you get back to the shore so quickly if you were in deep sea ocean? And like,
because reasons.
So many things wrong with
because
it. It's a sci-fi original movie, though. What do you expect?
Well, then there's another shot where a guy sees the octopus swim by, and they're like, can you draw it for us? You know, what you saw? And he drew it, and they're like looking at it, and that's the eye of an octopus. And they're like, oh, is he that good of an artist? Or
that's not a shark.
Right?
Yeah, they're like, that's octopus.
So then there's a shark. The shark attacks a plane.
Yeah, plane chomp in the sky is one of the things that I liked.
And there was a part where they're showing the people on the plane, and there's this kind of dick guy in there that's like, I'm getting married in 2 days and blah, blah, whatever. And as the shark bit the plane out of the sky, I went, he's not getting married in 2 days.
No, he did.
He got killed.
Yeah.
Then just to get these out of the way, then there's an octopus. The octopus is versus a plane. Then there's a shark versus the boat. And then there's a shark versus the Golden Gate Bridge.
It was the octopus versus the boat. It was the octopus put its little arms around that one boat and pulled it under.
Oh, I missed one then. Because
I didn't see an octopus going against a plane.
It slapped it.
Oh, that was a helicopter.
It was a helicopter, okay.
Yeah, or fighter jet. It was a fighter jet. He's like, I don't want to go closer.
And they went, and they slapped it out of the sky.
And then Lawrence Olamas is being a dick, and he's like, you're gonna get closer. You're gonna be like, court-martialed or whatever. And and he's like, oh, okay, sir. And she's like, you're gonna get him killed. And then you see this octopus just be like,
and he then got killed.
Yeah.
There was, and when the shark bit the Golden Gate Bridge in half, that's when we knew that the movie kind of jumped the shark a little bit.
Yeah.
It had already jumped the shark.
It was ridiculously silly. Like I said, the things that I didn't like about it were like the timeline was a little bit long and a little bit off, I said long scenery shots that didn't make any sense. They needed more monster shots, I felt like.
I don't know if they had the budget for that.
Yeah, but I'd rather see that than a freaking, I don't know, like not a penguin, but a seagull over and over again. What?
I want to know if in this world everybody knows how to pilot a sub, because it seemed like
everybody knows how to pilot. Even a big, giant mega sub, like one of those
mega sub versus mega.
Do you know what I mean? No, like a
aircraft carrier,
like a sub from the Navy or whatever. He's like, I'll drive it.
And he just knows how to drive a like a nuclear submarine type
Yeah.
thing. And at one point, as we were watching it, speaking of not having enough cinematic or special effects shot, I said we're going to need a bigger budget. um, so I felt like it checked all the standard boxes for for this type of movie. The only thing that was a little weird is it had nonstop music and there was a lot of weird jump cuts.
Yeah.
Like it kept going,
Yeah.
and it would like flash and then like zoom in on something.
Yeah.
Like, why is this necessary? And they decide that the way that they're going to stop these two creatures is to make them fight each other.
There was like a line that I liked from that when they were like starting to prepare that whole thing or whatever, because they had to use bait.
Yep. Oh, right.
Yeah. So they were trying to use bait to like get, and here's the thing. I felt like one of they were on the coast of Japan for one of them, right? Because one guy went back to Japan, so he was in a Japanese sub, right. And the other one is in California. But I feel like they were getting
California sub.
They were 5 minutes away from each other because like
that's how far it is from California to Japan by sub.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, like the bird, like the crow flies.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't talk.
5 minutes.
Like the sub.
Because they're like, you put some bait over here, you'll get the octopus. You put the bait over here, you'll get the shark. And that's why it bit the Golden Gate Bridge. But so was it somebody that like I'm pretty sure somebody on the movie said if you were trapped in ice for thousands of years or hundred whatever, wouldn't you be a little horny?
Yeah, that was an actual line.
Yep. They don't rest, they just kill. That's another funny line.
So,
but one of our friends that came, the one that set up all the screen and stuff like that, was my favorite quote that he said. He's like, man, they do have the master bait.
So Debbie Gibson comes up with this horny juice that they're going to use to trick the creatures to
Irish science.
With some Irish sirens to an Irish siren sciences. I don't know. Anyway, to trick them into thinking that there's a mate that wants them to come to see them. And it looks like, if you've ever seen Reanimator, any of the Reanimator series, the green injectable stuff that Herbert West creates that reanimates things, it looks like that.
Yeah.
And so they lure them towards each other into an epic final battle, which reminds me of the Apollo 18 cover by They Might Be Giants, which I'll put that up here, which I love that cover, by the way. It'd be a great tattoo. Probably has. And then they fight.
Yep.
So why at the end, when all these people are going to be killed, only the three main stars get on the escape pod to leave the vessel?
Oh, right.
They were the only three that survived this thing. The captain's like, I'm going down with the ship because I feel like it's my fault.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's typical for, sea life, I guess. If you're a captain, that's what you do. But everybody else on the ship was like, I don't want to die. And they're like, well, they already took the escape pod, so sorry? Question mark. Yeah, I felt a little bad. And somebody else in in the shop noticed it too. Ding, ding. All right. So, did you have anything else?
Do you have final thoughts?
I do.
Yay. I was going to say, do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
Oh, I don't mind. I said it's a typical The Asylum film, always moving forward to a climax. Kind of.
My final thoughts were cheesy acting, subpar CGI. This was a silly, fun movie to watch with friends, be loud, and have fun.
You said subpar.
I did. Subpar. Get it?
Some Irish sirens, I think.
Subpar.
Why can't I say
and then,
Irish
so what did you
sirens?
rate it? So let's give it out of Irish science. Out of 5. You just do like a little green syringe.
Oh, okay.
The Reanimator thing.
So I gave it a whopping 2 out of 5 because it was entertaining. It did move forward. It was very Asylum-esque in that regard.
I would say probably a 1.
Is that where you landed?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it was fun.
I mean, I would honestly watch more of Debbie Gibson in that role, taking on other giant creatures, but I don't know how many more there are aside. That's the only one that I could find when I was doing the initial thing was those two. So I'll have to see if there's more, and we may have to do those for future shows.
Awesome. All right. Well, what are we watching?
Nope.
No. Oh yeah. What do you recommend if you don't want to watch this movie? Which I can't blow it up because there's like four other movies on there.
We gotta watch
I'm gonna
Chupacabra versus
gently
the
put this
Alamo.
down on the ground.
We gotta watch Chupacabra versus the Alamo.
Yeah.
So like I said, I already recommended Sharknado, so I had to go with the second best Asylum film, which is 2015's Lavalantula, starring Steve Guttenberg.
Nice.
And there's no Irish science in that movie.
No, just lots of Gutenberg.
Just Gutenberg with a shotgun and some muscles.
And some lava tarantulas.
Oh, and Finn Shepard is in it too from the Sharknado series.
Nice.
Just briefly. Little cameo.
Oh, yeah.
Little cameo.
I knew that.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Oh, I think we watched it.
I've even put a thing up here for it because I've mentioned it several times. I think you've only seen the first one, Sharknado. You've not seen any of the other ones.
Oh, but I thought I saw him do the cameo. Maybe you just showed it to me.
I've put it on this show before. I've shown a screen cap for it because it comes up a lot. It's a thing. It's literally like I can see it right there.
All right. Well, what are we watching next week?
This is from 2004, and this was picked up at Beach Boy Toys.
All right.
From Jeremy. So if you're in the Rockford area, stop by Beach Boy Toys and say hello to Jeremy and tell him the Newly Dead sent you.
It's Hell's Gate 1111.
Or Hell's Gate or 1111. I've seen it put all three ways.
Yep. All right. It does say it's scary as hell on the top here.
I don't know about that.
18 years after the brutal murder of her parents, Sarah Tobias is still haunted by the nightmarish image of the numbers 1111 scratched in blood next to their bodies. When paranormal events wreak havoc on Sarah's small town, she's trapped in a terrifying journey of horror and fear, sucked into the mouth of hell, the 1111 prophecy. This unbelievably frightening film will keep your heart pounding and your eyes glued to the screen. Yeah, this rated R.
I highly doubt that. I mean, the rated R part, I'm sure is true.
Yeah.
The rest of it, I'm kind of doubtful.
It's a terrifying journey into the paranormal.
Okay. We'll see about that.
I'm excited. And we're glad we got to get it, and help out Mr. Beach.
Jeremy Beach.
It's funny because it's a Blockbuster.
Near the beach. It is a Blockbuster case, so I assume it must have been a former Blockbuster rental. So
yeah,
some of you may have already seen this film. I've never heard of it, but we saw this one and another one on his shelf in the store, and we purchased them both because we hadn't seen either one of them.
Thank you, Jeremy. All right. I think that's it for our 100th episode. Thank you very much for sticking with us. And if this is your first time watching, hopefully you come back. So I think that's it, right? Until next time.
Keep it cheap and creepy.
Bye.
Doesn't mean you should go chasing the dead.
It may be your robot, but it's my house.
I want to get a close look at these sharks.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I'll be careful.